Everyone remembers the moment their heart almost stops in public, but nobody forgets the moment it starts beating louder than fear. When the shy new girl stepped into the crowded hallway that morning, she thought her worst challenge would be getting lost or being invisible. She had no idea that before the bell rang, the entire building would be silent, watching her choose between breaking down and standing up in a way no one expected. What happened next would travel through the campus faster than any rumor, and by the end of the day, nobody would ever look at her the same way again. She had transferred mid-semester, the kind of timing that makes you feel like you are walking into someone else's movie halfway through. Her name was Hana, age 19, slim build, soft posture, dark hair tied neatly behind her head, wearing a simple white long-sleeve top and a knee-length blue skirt she had chosen carefully to avoid attention. She kept her eyes down, backpack hugged close, counting steps like it might calm her nerves. The hallway was loud with laughter and locker doors, but she moved through it quietly, hoping no one would notice how tense her shoulders were. They noticed anyway. 3 students leaned against the lockers like they owned the place. All were around 20, dressed loud, confident, feeding off each other's energy. To them, Hana looked like an easy target. Someone brushed past her on purpose. Another laughed. A careless tug at her clothing turned into a cruel game, pulling fabric, mocking, pushing her balance just enough to make the crowd react. Phones came out. Whispers spread. Hana froze, not because she was weak, but because her past flashed in her mind faster than her body could move. Her hands shook, but not from fear alone. From memory, from years of discipline hidden behind quiet eyes. Her father's voice echoed calmly in her head, reminding her to breathe, to stand, to choose control over chaos. She adjusted her stance without thinking, feet grounded, shoulders squared, eyes finally lifting. The laughter faltered. One of them stepped closer, confident the moment still belonged to them. That was when the hallway learned a lesson no lecture could teach. The sound was sharp, clean, controlled, a single defensive movement, precise and practiced, stopping aggression without cruelty. The energy shifted instantly. Shock replaced arrogance. Phones lowered. The bullies stumbled back, stunned more by the realization than the impact. Hana stood still, breathing steady, her expression calm, not angry, not proud, just done. She did not chase, did not shout, did not gloat. She simply picked up her bag and walked away as the crowd parted for her, like the hallway itself had decided to show respect. By the time the bell rang, the story had already changed. It was no longer about a shy new girl. It was about the quiet one who refused to be broken. And just when everyone thought they understood what had happened, the real story was only beginning. The next day, the hallway felt different. Whispers followed Hana, but this time they carried curiosity instead of cruelty. Some students nodded. Some looked away, embarrassed for not stepping in. Hana kept the same pace, the same calm steps, but inside, something had shifted. She had not planned to reveal her strength. She had hoped to leave her past behind. But strength, once seen, changes the world around it. A counselor called her in, not to punish, but to listen. Hana spoke softly about discipline, about years of training, not for fighting, but for self-control. She explained that defending yourself does not mean losing yourself. Word spread that she had trained in traditional karate since childhood, not for trophies, but for balance and confidence. The bullies were suspended, not because they were knocked down, but because the truth had finally been seen clearly. Days passed, and Hana was no longer alone in the cafeteria. People asked her name, asked her story, asked how she stayed calm when everyone else would have panicked. She smiled more, not because she had proven something, but because she no longer felt like she had to hide. The hallway incident became a turning point for more than just her. Students started speaking up, standing closer together, understanding that silence helps bullies, but courage spreads faster. On her last walk through that same hallway before the semester break, Hana paused for a moment. The lockers were the same, the lights were the same, but she was not. She had learned that strength does not always roar. Sometimes it waits quietly until it is needed. And when it finally shows itself, it does not destroy. It protects, teaches, and inspires. The lesson stayed with everyone who witnessed it. Never underestimate the quiet ones. Never mistake kindness for weakness. And never assume you know someone's limits just because they choose peace. Some hearts beat softly, but when tested, they echo loud enough to change everything.